This is what is happening on the Sun today, the 14th of April 2011. It's going to be a fairly short report because many of my data sources don't seem to be available. Particularly the Solar Dynamics Observatory hasn't been updated for quite some time. So you may want to check back at that site and the stereo site to see if there's been updates to the data later in the day. In the meantime, the Sun has been very active. We've had another 7 C flares, mainly from regions 1193 and 1190. Note that the GOES background is near to the C1 level, which means any slight brightening will produce a C flare. Note that these short, sharp flares normally indicate very rapid growth in a complex, strong magnetic field, and are thus reliable omens for major flares. If we look at the stereo A data, which is looking at regions that have recently rotated off the disk, we don't see a great deal going on in those at the moment. We have very little data from SDO, so I'm not going to show any of that today. Going to stereo B, which is behind the Earth and looking at the regions that are coming onto the disk, we do see a nice eruption off the east limb, which is probably a coronal mass ejection, but will be difficult to see. Looking at the whole Sun coronal image, we do see that a region will be coming over the east limb in a couple of days' time, which I think is the remnants of 1176. From the SOHO coronagraph data, we see there has been an eruption off the southwest limb. I think this is part of that filament that I've been expecting to erupt for quite some time. However, it's a relatively small part and didn't produce a particularly large CME. The auroral oval has shown little activity, and the KP index has correspondingly dropped between 1 and 3, which is classified as quiet. Okay, in summary then, the sunspot number has ballooned to 153. The X-ray background is at a very respectable C1 level. The radio flux is at 118 solar flux units. Solar wind speed has dropped to 450 km per second. And correspondingly, the KP index is varying between 2 and 4. In the absence of any new information, I want to keep my forecast pretty much as it was yesterday, with a high likelihood of C flares, maybe an increasing chance of M flares, but still a fairly low chance of getting an X flare. I think we will continue to get CMEs, but again, a major geomagnetic storm seems unlikely, at least in the next day. That's it for today. Sorry there hasn't been more detail. Don't forget to links of other episodes of The Sun Today are in the description box below, and I have several other videos about the Sun and global warming that might be of interest to you, so please enjoy those if you have the time. Keep safe. Bye for now.